In 1893, Chicago was celebrating the World's Columbian Exposition, also known as the World's Fair. The expo was a sight to be seen, and even exhibited the world's very first Ferris wheel. An attractive, charming, and charismatic pharmacist by the name of Herman Webster Mudgett, better known as H.H. Holmes, built a World's Fair hotel, which was paid for by his insurance swindling efforts. This was a fancy facade meant to hide something much more sinister. The hotel was constructed to deceive and torture unsuspecting victims across a labyrinth of disorienting passageways to dangerous rooms, doors to brick walls, and trapdoors with greased chutes to the basement. Since the discovery of Holmes' sadistic secrets, the World's Fair Hotel is now known by a different name: H.H. Holmes' Murder Castle. Select from up to 6 colleagues of Holmes, each with a special ability to help assist the collection of evidence in order to avoid being arrested as an accomplice. Players begin the game with their evidence board partially filled and based on a starting evidence setup card. The player who has last rode a Ferris wheel goes first. Players select action tiles in order to explore the castle. While exploring rooms, safes are filled with evidence cubes that are taken from the Ferris wheel, and empty gondolas are refilled with evidence cubes from the evidence bag. Players can also move into 1 or 2 rooms, collect evidence, draw event cards, and even move homes in an attempt to impede or strike other players. While every player gets a chance to use every action selected, the action tile has a special bonus action available only to the player who selected it. Because Holmes knows the layout of the castle and all of the castle's elaborate horrors, he can appear in any room at any time, forcing players to drop their collected evidence or head down a different path. Be careful though, Holmes always has the potential to go on a maddening rampage. Event cards give players either a competitive advantage or the ability to wreak havoc by sabotaging other players. Players can keep up to 3 event cards to plan their attack or be ready to defend themselves. Once a player has filled their evidence board and become the first player to safely navigate back to the pharmacy, they win. With up to 26 room tiles inspired by the original blueprints of the castle, the game board can be built differently each time the game is played. Crimes and History, H.H. Holmes' Murder Castle plays with 2 to 6 players in about 45 to 60 minutes for ages 14 and up. Now's your chance to test your survival in Holmes' House of Horrors.
Hello there.
Well, welcome to episode 34 of Behind the MasterMinds. Today our special guests are Seth and I guess Brent will be joining us later.
Soon.
Perhaps.
But it is Blueprint Gaming Concepts.
Yeah, and before we introduce them, let's announce the raffle winner for episode 32 of our show, Shine On Collected.
Wait.
Hold on. If you are interested to try out their games, you still have until January 31st to use the 10% discount code RUMORS for their game Welcome Home.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see who.
Wait. Okay, I'm ready. Here we go.
See who can take back the Welcome this game to their home.
Here we go.
All right.
When it is.
Oh my God, it's Angela.
Angela, wow. There you go. You were good. She was good. She definitely was good.
Yeah.
Congratulations,
awesome.
Angela.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Oh,
all right, but back to our esteemed guests. Here we go. We're gonna dig right in, and hopefully Brent joins in soon. Yeah. Or we could let you take all the credit.
Who made you lost in the castle?
He's still trapped. All right, so let's formally introduce our guests for the show. I'm going to address it as if you were both here, but Seth and Brent are both first-time game designers and also opted to self-publish their game H.H. Holmes' Murder Castle after the success of their Kickstarter campaign. Both of them have played board games most of their lives, but were playing more and more unique games once the Kickstarter model took off.
Yeah.
That really makes sense. All right, but we're going to start with our very first question for you. It would seem like most of the creators we've interviewed have other careers other than creating games. Tell us how a mortgage loan officer like Brent and a DJ music producer like yourself got together and decided to create this amazing team up.
Yeah, sure. So as you mentioned, we played games most of our lives, and I think over the last, 5 10 years, there's been a lot of customization of different themes because a lot of the bigger companies are kind of a little bit more out of the picture because Kickstarter's introducing more of that customization, uniqueness, and indie game perspective. And so we kind of fell in love with gaming, and then we came up with this idea and decided to pursue it and tried to read all the blogs and take cues from others that had kind of started to pave the way for people like us.
Okay.
I'm curious, how many games have you played?
Yeah,
Board games
that's
so far? With each other or by yourself?
Yeah, different games, probably around the 500 mark.
Wow.
That's like...
Wait, do you keep all of them? Like, do you have like a basement that's just like, you know, stacked full of boxes, or do you like, what do you do with them?
Yeah, so I'm not the norm. I think as I joined a lot of these Facebook community groups, I've seen how many games people collect, and they dedicate whole rooms and houses to board games. And I try to keep like my top 30 or 50, and if I'm not actively playing it, I'll kind of recycle it out.
Okay, so the max approximately is like 50 per, you know, for like I guess collection wise.
He's not a game hoarder. That's what it is.
Yeah. Brett has a little bit more. I think he has closer, if I had to guess, probably closer to 75 in his basement.
Well, since you guys play together, do you have duplicates? Like, do you both have the same copies, or do you just try to keep one per person?
Super interesting question, because we actually had played very little of our games are actually duplicates. I think we only have about 5 maybe. So we both kind of introduced each other to other games, and I think that's when it piqued both of our interests.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously they're gonna play the same games.
Yeah, it's more strategic the way you guys are purchasing your games. Now you can just share and get together and play together.
Yeah. And how did you guys decide on what storyline to use for your first game? I mean, surely there's a lot out there, but to pick this one, what is the...
So a lot of, you know, what never gets said with a lot of board game designers is that a lot of games are repurposed mechanics or retooled themes across what else is out there. But a lot of games are also mashups of other game components to kind of create a unique game. And so we were thinking about, you know, just maybe some aspects of games that hadn't really been mashed up to the best level possible. So we actually started very much with the idea of Clue, and kind of hating the fact that you could get really lucky depending on if you start on one side and you find that room which has the most amount of clues, or you know, people rolling the dice and then moving people into a room as they're about to solve it, and that the board never changed. So we started with that idea, but we wanted to create more kind of components, like, you know, trapdoors, like from chutes and ladders, and, you know, things that really created some uniqueness and fun of it. And we tried focusing on replayability and the fun factor.
Yeah. I definitely got that vibe, especially like the Clue and Chutes and Ladders type.
Yeah, you said that right away.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, oh, it's very similar to Clue, because I love Clue. I mean, I grew up on Clue, and I love Chutes and Ladders actually too. So I felt the elements of both, but definitely you guys like took it up a notch with all the added surprises that you jam-packed in there.
For sure. And I feel like the lucky element is definitely there as well. So once you, like if your Ferris wheel works really well with your selection of your characters, like first play card, then you might be able to win the game right away.
Yeah, so. Or if you're in the wrong room at the wrong time, you're out of luck, buddy. So the next question is, just out of curiosity, were there any required copyright release requirements or anything that you had to get permission on, since it is based on tree events?
No.
Okay.
No. We created, so it's in public domain, and we created fictitious characters and you know, an idea of a story that was also built upon some of the folklore too. Okay.
Any other disconnect? We were just gonna assume that you fell through a trapdoor.
Yeah. Seth fell through a trapdoor. Somebody save him. And also, Eric, this one's for you. Bam! Air fire.
Right? Virtual high five. All right. So the artwork in this game was spectacular. I know you had mentioned that you partnered up with Holly Carden for the entire product. Was it difficult to find a partner who can understand and be able to bring out your visions?
No, we got extremely lucky in this area. I've worked with artists both in my professional career and then also when I had a music label. And so I understand, you know, when you give someone a requirement, their interpretation can range pretty greatly. And when we were originally thinking about our idea, we knew how important the artwork was. And because to a lot of people, it's the first thing that grabs them when they look at the box or look at a game. And we just started Googling, you know, more about H.H. Holmes, and this puzzle was everywhere, and it was so well done. It was the right balance of, you know, the horror genre, but not too grotesque and gruesome, you know, the right balance of cartoon. And reached out to her to test the waters if she'd be interested. Holly Carden said yes. We created briefs. She was very familiar with the story, and we kind of allowed that creativity on her part, as long as it met our certain requirements of the rooms or what we were, you know, game functional kind of base requirements there.
Right.
So I was going to ask about that. So the puzzle came out before the game, the 1000 jigsaw puzzle.
Correct. Yep.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, we got to get our hands on that.
I love that.
Yeah.
Are there any puzzle elements on it as well, or is it just a jigsaw puzzle?
It is, so it's just a jigsaw puzzle, but it has a lot of historical elements tied to H.H. Holmes throughout the puzzle, and it's fantastic. She has a huge following. She did the Edgar Allan Poe, and I think she's working on Dracula now, so she's like building all that genre, and she's a fantastic artist, and I'm glad that this game can even spotlight her talent alone, because she's amazing.
Yeah,
Oh.
we saw that too, the Edgar Allan Poe,
Yeah.
which is on the bottom. Yeah, definitely check out her website. We definitely went down there to sell her a bit.
Our next question is, I mean, self-publishing is a big task, especially for first-time game designers. Were there any hardships you learned along the way? Any valuable lessons you can share with the audience?
Oh yeah, we can share a lot. I'll start by saying I read probably every article from Board Game Design Lab and the Stonemeyer blogs, and I backed over 20 projects on Kickstarter the last 2 years, so I could get familiar with the communications and the whole layout, try to get a sense of what problems everyone was happening. And then COVID came, and then UK, you know, law changes, and I just feel like there's always uncertainties, and a publisher will help with game designers navigating those. And look, I mean, in a perfect world, unlimited time, unlimited cost, you can create any game that you want. But as a publisher, especially in indie, you have to make trade-off decisions that kind of hit the timeline that you're going after and the focus of the game. And so, like many, we had to make some trade-off decisions. But I would say the number one lesson that I specifically had throughout this that I would advise others is work backwards from a standpoint of cost and component management, because cost can always increase. And something that we did really well that I would continuously recommend to others is don't launch too soon. Make sure it's fine-tuned, and make sure you're building a community and marketing along the way, even before you launch on Kickstarter. Don't depend on Kickstarter's numbers. Try to get the numbers, and then whatever Kickstarter does is a bonus.
Yeah. Oh. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah,
that's definitely very valuable for creators out there.
We do have a question from Matthew Louis. He says, the box in the video said second story. What is that? Yeah, so... You tell it.
Yeah, so Brand and I as co-designers, so we would test, you know, we tested over 500 times, and there were subtle design differences and perspectives that you have with your fellow game designers that you try to work out. And for us, it was a compromise. And so second story expansion is included in the majority of the boxes that we manufactured, because that was our popular product that came out of Kickstarter. Kickstarter sort of tested the idea of what do people actually want for the value, and it was like 98% they wanted with the second story expansion included. So that expands the base game of 2 to 6 players to 1 to 7 players. And it's called the second story because it's the sequel, but also because the second story is where there were a lot more dangerous rooms on the castle. And so we created more rooms that had room-based abilities that can be built in the castle onto a second layer. It's not a literal second layer, but it's done with stairs so that it affects the castle pathways as you're navigating around the board. And then it also allows for a solo mode, and then the ability to what's called one versus many or one versus all, where you get to play as Holmes against other players. So it's just a little bit more for people that want a little bit more depth than what the base game offers.
Yeah, so it's like a first story on steroid.
Yeah, pretty much. By the way, we will be releasing our unboxing video of the game today, and Cece definitely gave an in-depth review of the gameplay and what to expect from the first and the second.
I try my best.
Yeah.
This was really my forte. Yeah. But yes, I did.
We only got we haven't played the second version, the second story yet. We played the first one, but the second one looks really cool. It's a different dynamic of how to play it.
Yeah. So I mean, like Seth said, this game is a 2 to 6 player, but if you do get the expansion pack, it becomes 1 to 6, 7. Although I feel like there was a really good explanation video out there. I forgot the name of the blogger who did it, but he explained how you can play that in a solo version. And I would say like 45 to 60 minutes of playtime if you want to run like one entire game through, and it's for ages 14 plus. So the quality is really amazing, and you can easily make a family night out of this. And for anyone who wants to win this amazing game, one lucky winner within the US will be walking away with 1 free copy, including shipping. And if you're international, you can also win the game if you want to enter, but you just have to cover the shipping cost. Once again, they're a self-publishing company and they have limited budget, so they're really grateful that they're able to give away 1 copy to our audience, and you would definitely not be disappointed with the game. So if you want to type in, I'll catch you, H.H. Holmes.
I'll catch you, H.H. Holmes.
To answer the raffle. And if you missed the live stream and are watching our post-edited version of this later on YouTube or IGTV, you can still type in the phrase under the video before episode 36. I'm still saying 36, which airs in February 5th. And we'll announce our winner on that episode.
Yeah, so definitely, you know, get a jump on it, because it's definitely a really great game.
Yeah. All right, so now let's get into the game itself. Initially, because of it's like a serial killer background, I thought perhaps I would have to worry about some gruesome details and actions within the game. Like I gotta like chop off some stuff and blood is gushing everywhere. But it's actually not that at all. I mean, you might see some, a few bodies along the way in various rooms, but the game itself is mostly strategy. And I would say, like I said before, it's a bit of luck. And in the expansion story too, there's even some collaboration work where you have to team up to go against Holmes. So I know you guys have said you played many board games before. Were there a few that were major influences on this game? Like perhaps you took some good ideas from?
Yeah, sure. I tend to think our game is almost as an homage, best hits tribute of some of our other favorite games. So we kind of took, we were inspired for the event cards from Kings of Tokyo, which we love. We were inspired, at least in the idea of collecting evidence around, a mysterious home or castle from Clue. Dropping things was inspired from a game called Colt Express, which is a really fun kind of train-based game. And then we were inspired from, obviously Betrayal has the room tiles, but we wanted to go a level deeper with the artwork of the castle so that it's a tribute to true crime fans and those that are interested in the story. But we, like many of your viewers, are huge fans of escape rooms. So the pathways that we're creating around a contiguous castle was something we absolutely wanted to do, and then have someone, like Holmes that is in like a third party, for all versions except for the one versus all, that could impact anyone at any time. So try to balance the strategy and luck and really kind of hit the gateway market for the true crime fans and maybe introduce them into board gaming.
Yeah.
Yay, escape room.
This actually feels like a board game version of Spectre in a Box. Like it has that like house feel where you're navigating through rooms.
Yeah.
And if you guys haven't seen the tiles, they actually look three-dimensional, like you're staring from bird's eye view into the rooms, which is really great. The artwork is amazing. We said that time and time again.
Yeah. I really like all these little gadgets that you have, like, you know, they're really colorful cubes. Just like looking at it makes me want to play the game. Like opening like, oh.
I actually was going to make a necklace out of the key, the skeleton key. I was like, this is cool. I'm going to wear it around my neck.
Yes,
I'm sure it opens up a door out there somewhere.
All right, so our next question is, so the replayability of this game is quite an attractive feature. There's also so many actions you're able to take with various special tokens, trapdoors, secret stairways. I would imagine every game would end up with different results. Playtesting must be pretty, you know, how big is the playtest group? I mean, like, were there any features you had to take out or add in after seeing perhaps, you know, if it didn't work well or it didn't, or maybe you thought you wanted to add more of a twist to it?
Yeah, really good question. Our playtesting approach was really interesting. We kind of set objectives of where are we comfortable making trade-offs with the idea of our game, and then where aren't we? And fun factor, replayability were two areas that were extremely important. Any decision had to tie back to both of those. Otherwise, it wasn't an important decision and something that we could maybe simplify or streamline. But we created questionnaires for all of our play testers. We evaluated everyone. We tried to look at, was that game an anomaly? How to reduce the chances of that anomaly. But you're right. We knew that part of our frustration with other games is sometimes we take and we play the 2 games in a row, and we say that's not really fun, and we find out that there was not a great rule clarification, or we just played an anomaly game. So for us, it was really important to try to maximize and the fun factor and the replayability, but reduce those types of issues. So we said, if we're going to create a game and it's going to be well balanced with high replayability, we have to enjoy playing this hundreds of times. So we actually tested this 500 times and used that to create the rule set. Not everything will be covered, so we have the FAQs page on our website, but most of it is covered, and we're learning that a lot of people are seeing kind of the same results, that once they finish a game, they want to play again and kind of see how it's different, and that that a lot of the games have been close.
I'm curious, so after playing 500 times, was there any components that seemed like familiar, like were people getting same results or somewhat? Like, were there one outcome that usually is like the most popular?
No, a lot of people like choosing Lola in our game, and she's beautiful. She's a stage actress, you know. So that was like an observation. A lot of people like Lola and her ability, but I think the only other observation that we noticed is typically the games vary depending on the people you're playing with. So we advertise this as a backstabbing game because that's where the fun is crafted, right? And that is based in the event cards and moving homes. So some people that were a little bit shy and just, wanted a more friendly, interactive game, they weren't choosing the event cards, and then the people that were advancing ahead. So, we definitely recommend the event cards, and as people start playing with them, I think it introduces a lot more fun. We have things like the peephole, the trapdoor, the hidden bookcase. They offer huge advantages or penalties to others.
Yeah. I feel like they might just have to like warm up to it. It's like the first one, they're being like amiable, like, oh, I'm friendly, and then soon you won't know it will be backstab.
Yeah, it's like when we play when we first played Catan with our friends. It was like, oh yeah, sure, I'll barter, yeah, sure, and then it was like, wait a second, just getting taken advantage of. Let's play again. We have a question from Matthew, who wants to know, from concept to Kickstarter, how long did it take to design and publish the game?
Yeah, so we started with the initial idea in November of 2018. We were originally going to go to Kickstarter in October of 2019, but we were delayed because we started receiving enough feedback and playtest results that where player turns were taking too long. So we had to significantly revise that because that was important to us from the fun factor. We don't want people waiting. We want them to stay engaged. So we delayed that to January, went live on January, ended the campaign February, and then we're fulfilling on the North American orders right now. The rest of the worldwide orders should be complete by the end of February.
Oh.
Do you have other languages or just English now?
We have, so with the idea that most of the game can be kind of, and I know it's not the best experience, but most of the game can be correlated to like numbers or the images. We focused on just rule book translation and event card translation in German and French languages, because we had a decent number, enough backers to justify it as part of the Kickstarter campaign.
Okay, so the game pretty much can be played without, I mean, visually, without having to know the language, except for the instructions and how to set up the game.
Like detail cards and what it does and things like that.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's very real, though, the scenarios that you put in, because it's like, all right, if you were trapped in like a serial killer's house, some people are going to group together and try to survive through the night. Some are just going to like evade and run and hide, and, you know, so it definitely puts you in the
yeah,
position.
and you gotta be lucky with your hiding spots too.
I hid in the bathroom most of the time. Last
I try to hide in the black closet when it comes up to try to get the event cards, but sometimes it just backfires.
I gotta try that.
Yep. So the goal of the game is for one player to be able to collect all the missing evidence cubes and move to on the evidence board and return to the pharmacy first. It's quite competitive during the first game, and in the second story, someone actually plays Holmes, or you have a feature of getting the players to work together to form alliances to go against Holmes. Did you already have in mind of the second story expansion pack, what it was going to be like when you developed the initial story, or will we be seeing more expansion packs also for this game?
There could be. So if we're evaluating the demand right now, we did a much larger print run than we expected, and as a result, this really high cost game to produce may not be able to be made again unless we had high reprint numbers. And if we ever had that demand, we would do another reprint, and as part of that reprint, we would offer new things. So there is a chance for that. We purposefully left open some doors that would allow us to build upon in the future, should that opportunity be there.
Oh.
Is that like Basement 3?
Not the literal sense, but yeah, that's fine.
Well, I was wondering, because you titled it Crimes in History and then you went into H.H. Holmes. I was wondering if this was going to be like a thing where it's all crimes and histories and different serial killers are different. He's gonna go. You mean like another? Like it could be like Norman. Sorry, not Norman, but like real, like Dahmer or somebody that and then you reinvented or you made it more of a board game out of like a real, true event. So I didn't know if that was something you were doing, where it was all crimes and histories.
Yeah. So we wanted to. We have a. I'm a big fan of the whole MCU universe, right? So we have this like awesome roadmap in mind. But it might surprise you that this would be our only game in that roadmap that features a serial killer. There's a lot of reasons for that, but one is we weren't really focused on Holmes as much as the castle. We made that intentional in the name of the game. It's H.H. Holmes's Murder Castle, because that was the uniqueness of this. We are starting to work on a second game, but when we start working on a second game, you have 5 or 6 ideas and you see which one prevails. One of those ideas would be a continuation of the Crimes in History series, but it would be a different crime.
See?
Yeah. He's thinking, and he's also trying to questions.
Yeah, sorry about that. Our next question is, now that the Kickstarter has ended, if people want to purchase this game, where can they buy it?
Yep, so right now on our website, www.blueprintgamingconcepts.com, we have what's called a FLGS locator tool, so Friendly Local Game Store. Right now, those are all of the retailers that have our game in stock that partnered with us in the Kickstarter campaign or the pre-ordering campaign. One of those will receive the remaining set of our inventory, which is Cool Stuff Inc., which is it's the largest online retailer for board games outside of Amazon. And so they should be live by mid to late February at the absolute latest with the remaining stock. But yeah, if someone's interested, go ahead and check that. Try to check the retailers because retailers need help right now. But if you can't, if they run out of copies, look at Cool Stuff Inc. once it goes live. You can also sign up on our website to be notified once it does go live.
Yeah. Or you can win this raffle.
That's true.
Or you can win the raffle. Good luck.
And then I know you talked about your second game that you're working on. Is there any other details you can share with the audience?
None right now. It's too early because if we share details, it could change drastically in a month because that is just the stage that we're in. We're really, really early in the process, but this idea would allow us to share the idea sooner because it's a quicker path than what we experienced with Murder Castle. So that's about all I can share. But for those interested in the puzzle, the website that you can get that is hollycarden.com, and then she has a store link there.
Okay. Carlygon.
Yeah.
Got it. We'll also add it in the post.
Yep.
Okay, so are we ready?
Well, before we get into our segment, since Seth is here and Brent did not come through, Seth is going to have to drink 2 drinks.
That's so
one
wrong.
for him and one for Brent if he gets the questions.
Oh, sorry.
We're going to see how Seth does.
Brandon, where's your drink?
It's right over here. I'm ready. I know he's ready. He showed me before the show. It looks amazing, by the way, so I don't think he's complaining.
All right, we're ready then?
Yeah, let's get into it. So our game that we play is called
Think or Drink.
Think or Drink. All right, so let's, for the audience, what do you have to drink over there, Seth?
I have a margarita.
Ooh, margarita.
Ooh. What kind of alcohol are you using for that?
Resposado.
Ooh, Reposado is good.
Yeah.
Some good
I would
tequila.
know.
So she won't let me buy any more drinks until I clear out the fridge.
That's true.
So I have this huge like bundle pack of
What
Smirnoff Spiked
Why are there
sparkling
so many?
seltzers. Today, this show we are doing pina colada. So not pink, Anush. All right, it's yellow. He's getting on me for the colors.
Do you like that flavor?
Sorry.
Do you like that flavor?
It's okay.
I like some of the ones in that pack, but I struggled with that one.
Yeah, I think the raspberry rosé I had last week was pretty good. The raspberry lime was good. This one, I have to clear out the fridge. So.
Yeah. Oh, by the way,
They were awesome.
Yeah.
before we go on there,
Oh, we do have one more question
the
from
jigsaw
Bjorn.
puzzle
He wants to
in
know.
EU or no?
Yeah, is jigsaw puzzle available in Europe?
I'm not sure, but Holly will be able to definitely answer that on her website.
Yeah, we'll put the link in the YouTube
After as well.
description
Like,
below.
type that in. Yeah. Okay, cool. Are we ready for? Okay, I hope this round is not too difficult for you because I know you have tons of items in this game. So.
And he has to drink twice.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So we asked the question. He has 10 seconds from after we finish asking the question.
All right.
And
So this character, which you said, beautiful and very, very popular. What is Lola Radcliffe's character's ability?
So she can mimic another player's event card.
Or? This is
Or a discarded event card.
wow, great job. All right.
I didn't make it too difficult.
I know. I'll drink this pina colada.
Yeah, there's a lot more difficult questions than that. You spared me.
She's warming you up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
All
all right. The next question that we have for you is, how many Holmes movement cards are there in Story 1 and Story 2?
Oh, that's a fantastic question without my contents list. 33.
Well, we're drinking together, but
What's the second
you don't have to
one?
drink if you get the second one. 33
Well,
is right for the Story 1.
Oh, also Story 2, how many are there?
11.
All right, we're drinking together. It was 9, very close. So, cheers.
It was an odd number. Cheers.
All right.
All right, so let's reset.
Alright, so in the Atoma mode, right, that there's a M in the difficulty level section. What does it stand for, and what does it mean?
It's menacing, which is the hardest difficulty of Automa.
And what does it mean?
So it really means solo mode. Automa is it's I think it's Latin actually, and it derives from like automatic, where you're playing against a computer.
All right, Steph, stop showing off. Okay, so I'm taking this drink.
Oh, okay. Well, he didn't really tell me what do you have to do to play in that mode.
I'm pretty sure he has the answer. He was very descriptive.
But I would like to the audience to know. Like,
yeah, it's the same as the multiplayer. The only difference is you're selecting like 2 action tiles, and Holmes always moves to your room or the room closest to you using pathways, and Holmes can do things like destroy evidence and follow you on hidden bookcase pathways. So it's definitely all of our versions are very different from each other, but the Automa is definitely more puzzly.
And how many cubes are you supposed to put in this round? In the menacing? For fake evidence?
For fake evidence, 15. No, 30.
Good one. All right.
15, 30. Yeah.
She's trying to get you drunk.
I'm trying to catch him.
All right, so the next question, number 4, is, in the waiting room, how many chairs are in a drawing? The sofa does not count.
Wait, what's that question?
I'll pause it. In the waiting room, how many chairs are in the drawing? The sofa does not count.
Is this a trick question? 1?
Final answer?
Yeah.
You're drinking.
4.
You're drinking too.
I get that one because that's Illustrator.
Yeah, that's.
Not part of his job.
I'm pretty sure most of our guests can vouch that, yeah, when you're put on the spot in the hot seat, it's not that easy to get these answers right. Right, Angela?
Specialties.
Angela's always saying, yeah, it's not that easy.
All
right, so question number 5.
Oh, okay. In the asphyxiation chamber, what is the rule on that card?
So the rule on the card is that no other player can play a keep event card while they occupy that round.
That is very true.
Give it up. That was really good.
This is what happens when you play the game 500 times. What are you gonna do?
I didn't ever count the chairs though. I'm definitely gonna look at the furniture a little bit more here.
Yeah, now he's like, they got me on the chair question, man.
I was actually thinking of like asking what's on the table of the laboratory, but then I was like, maybe he would know that one.
I do like potions and laboratory stuff.
It was actually a saw, which I was
Okay, so we do have a bonus question. I'm going to tweak it a little bit. So you're going to come up with a number for the answer. I want you to add 376 to that number.
God.
Okay, here we go. Are you ready? How many candlesticks are on the laboratory shelf?
That's a toughie.
379?
That was pretty close.
Wait, what was your answer?
Well, 3?
That was very close. You're drinking. It's 2. It would be 3.
I knew it wasn't a lot. Okay.
Give it up for Seth. That was amazing. That was very close. Great job. Great job. Thank you.
Great to do like team trivia against like multiple game designers on like other games. That'd be awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Think a Drink.
Totally do that.
Yeah,
Everyone
it's in the works actually.
night.
We do have something that we're planning with Think a Drink. We haven't really ironed it down, but thank you for the suggestion.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to be one of the contenders, so.
Next time I'm starting earlier.
All right. Well, great job for anyone who came late onto the show. If you want to give this fun game a try, type in "I'll catch you H.H. Holmes" to enter for the raffle to win a free game. You can type this also in the post-edited version of the interview as well. I remember only our post-edited version and will have our embedded letter or number in the video. And then there's just one in each episode. So collect all 20 to form a phrase and email us your solution to enter for the raffle to win the Epic Escape games. 3 games in 1 box. 3 games. And actually, people are finally finding them. Yeah,
I've been making them bigger and bigger and bigger. These letters are just like
humongous. So good luck, everyone. Our next Friday's show on January 29th will feature guests all the way from Spain. They will be talking about the Memory app game that's created by. Would you like to read the Spanish?
Patrones y escondites.
Okay, because mine's gonna sound really English.
I hope I didn't just butcher it, but patrones y escondites.
And they'll be giving away 5 free games to 5 lucky winners. So make sure you tune in. And if you enjoy our show, as always, please support us by giving us a like and subscribe on our YouTube channel and spread the word about our show. Well, thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you, Seth and Brent.
Thanks, Brent. Air high five.
For joining us in this episode, and we'll see you in our next show.
Bye, everybody. Thank you for tuning in.
Good luck. Yeah. Invasion. Yeah. Oh, let's go. Locked in. 60 minutes to escape. Think before you move, there's no room for mistakes. If you got what it takes, stop, watch, and listen. Cause the clock is ticking and the plot is sticking. No matter what.